Hey guys, welcome to another episode of our Shop Shop. This week we're going to do a bit of a weekly vlog. So every day this week I've done a little job, something different. So I'm just going to show you what I did all week. The Datsun is sold.
But I have money.
I was going to say, you're just going to wipe your tears with that money, aren't you?
Yeah.
Bye mate. Thanks for trying to kill me and Aiden. Alright, if I don't start filming today, I won't have anything for this weekend. So it's currently Monday. I haven't got a whole lot of time this week. I'm not sure I'm going to film, but I'll just show you what I've been working on. So the backyard is actually nice and clean for once. I still need to get the lawn and yard flattened, which is the plan for soon-ish, hopefully. So Camry's parked out of the way, got the van away. That was in the backyard for quite a while. Those bits of metal behind the Camry are for a shelf, which is going to go into this end as part of the carport where the crown is. So I'm going to get Luke to come and help me this week sometime, pull the crown out with his truck. I'll build some shelves, put all the crown parts in there, and then put the crown back in. Behind this shed is almost under control. This has been 2 foot long for years. So I'm going to try and park the CRV Cabriolet in here and put a tarp over it. Got the van parked up. Tom, come and get your parts. Got the van parked up. Got this chassis which I still need. Trailer with a motorbike lift and the CRV roof in it. CRV parts back there. This is the tray for the truck, which I need to move soon. Actually have a walkway for once. Move the garden beds. We've got CRV parts there. And then just more storage. So fuel tanks in the back. I'm really keen to get this on the truck. So running around to the front. Then in here, this is a bit of a mess at the moment. CRV parts and scrap metal. Need to sort all this out. It's reasonably organised. Then in the shed we have the toy waste and the CRV. So this thing's almost done. I've spent a bit more time on it, ripped the heater box out, tidied up the wiring a bit. Need to tidy up the wiring some more. Just trying to thin it out as much as I can, but it all still runs through the firewall. So I'll try and unplug that and bring the loom on top of the firewall. So when I eventually cut this thing up and pull the motor out, I can leave pretty much all the wiring attached, which is the idea. But that's where that's at. Got some seats and parts for Em's car. Dug out some bits for the wagon, which is getting some love at the panel shop. And then the toy waste with CRV parts and toy waste parts on it. Still untouched. I've been very lazy on that thing. Slowly getting through this pile of bolts, which sounds ridiculous, but I've had so many. So I'm down to sorting this stuff, sorting the stuff on the bench, sorting that stuff, and then there's another tub about that much inside, and then all of this stuff's sorted. Then I've changed my drawers around a bit, so this one's all M6 and under, which is pretty awesome. And you got washers, which is pretty much full, so that's good. Shouldn't have to buy fasteners for a long time. Nuts, pretty much full as well. And then we got M7, 8, and 9, which this drawer is very heavy because there's a tub full back here. Then we got M10 and up currently. So this will probably end up just being M10 because there's a lot left to sort. And then M12 will probably end up in the bottom drawer. Then over here we've got the electrical stuff, so the fuses and relays and stuff. And then all the crimp terminals and all the tools, test wires and stuff. Then we got Imperial and airlines. So airline fittings all up the back. I'm slowly getting a pretty good assortment of Imperial stuff. I don't really buy Imperial, so when it pops up I just put it in the drawer really. So some sizes I don't have any bolts for and like one nut. So slowly it'll build up. And then we got Bundy tube and just hardline stuff, which is pretty basic. And then we got a bunch of screws, pretty much. That's all screws and clips and car stuff. So it's getting there, but it is taking a long time. Then we got the Honda seats, which I need to put somewhere. Probably should put them up there and then just move the toy-away seat, but we'll see. So what am I going to do today? Probably finish off the CRV, get it ready to move, and then I think Luke's coming over. I'm going to move the crown. So I'm going to jump into this, tidy it up a bit more, and see how far we can get. Alright, so I'll give you a quick update on the CRV. So there's one wire that I cut which didn't need to be, or shouldn't have been. It's for the ABS, so I had to I've twisted and taped that for now. I'm going to resolder that. Other than that, I've deleted everything from the engine bay to the dash that I can. There is obviously still some stuff left. So I'm going to try and feed all this into the engine bay and try and get all this wiring and then take off the key and everything and put it all just here somewhere, or probably on top of this cowl panel, just so if or when I need to cut this thing up, I can just cut it straight here, not think about anything, just take the tail shaft out and the shifter off, and then I can just have a running front cut. So it's all coming together, just slowly taking wires out that I don't need. So it is a lengthy process, as you saw in a few videos ago, but we will get there. So I've removed the ECU and wiring, that's all on top of the firewall now, so I'll just do that same thing with the fuse box and hopefully make this thing a bit more organized. Alright, before I put all this battery back in and the airbox back on, I'll show you what I've done. So we've got the ABS wiring over the front. As you can see, I've used a lot of cable ties. Got everything tidied up. This is just a long piece for the front section with the fans and everything. So I've just tucked that out of the way for now. Put the fuse box and the relays and stuff back in. This wire needs to go to the fuse box and is somehow too short. I'm not sure how I manage that, but I'll add to that later. Got the original wiring going back through the original hole because it actually doesn't reach over the top of the firewall for the plugs at the back. I'll show you in a second. So then we got the ECU just zip tied to the dashboard. Same with the throttle control module. The fuse box, there's an OBD2 here, and all the plugs and stuff are just sort of hanging, which I hate, but it's better than it was. And then we got the dash cluster zip tied to the dash and the key zip tied to the firewall. So in theory, I'm going to put the steering wheel back on, but I could jump in, turn that key, and this thing should work. So I'll try that in a minute. But for now, I'll just put the front end back together, or put the battery back in and the airbox back on. See if we've got any errors, which we shouldn't because I haven't cut anything. And it is genuinely a whole lot tidier. If I could get through that firewall, it would be super beneficial. But because of the rear end with the ABS sensors and the fuel tank stuff, I can't do that at the moment because it's all too short. But all of this should, in theory, be able to come up and just sort of be plonked on the front half, other than those sensors at the back. So I'll chuck this stuff on and we'll try and move it. Alright, so sitting in the car, we're in neutral. Should I turn the key? You get all the dashboard stuff, which is excellent. Start her up, and we haven't got any faults other than the airbags and the handbrake. So that's pretty good. I'll chuck the steering wheel back on and I'll move the car. Alright, so that all still works. Pretty happy with that. It's a bit tidier, obviously, until I get this thing pulled apart entirely, it's not going to be super tidy. So now I'll move all these parts, and then the plan is to tuck this thing behind this shed here. Alright, change of plans for this week. So the CRV's tucked away, all the parts are with it that I want to keep or use for Em's car, and the seats that I don't want to leave in the weather. All back here is a little bit cleaner. So I told Luke not to come up to move the crown because I got a message from Jacob, who's the guy that did all the earthworks. So he's going to try and do the earthworks for the rubble this week. So that kind of puts a bit of a spanner in the works, but I've been waiting for ages to get this done. More so on me, not on Jacob. But he has time and I have time, so we'll try and get it smashed out this week. Alright, another job on the list this week is to clear this bench. So for weeks it's been covered in bolts. It's been driving me nuts. So I have used a few hours over the last week or so to start organising. So these ones are done. That bucket's done. This one is not just yet. This stuff is like half sorted. This stuff is sorted, and then the drawers are starting to fill up. So I'm going to pull apart these drawers and reshuffle everything, and then I'll try and get a bunch of this stuff in the drawers, a bunch of that stuff in the drawers, and then I've only got a little bit left to sort. So I'll try and jig this all up and get it down to a small pile. Alright, so just that small bit of time lapse was about an hour. So I've cleaned up a fair bit. So this is all just empty buckets to sort some more stuff into. Small stuff that I haven't sorted, big stuff that I haven't sorted. This stuff I think is Imperial, which I have to find the gauge. I think it's in the Imperial drawer, but I'll deal with that later. And then I just have this to go, which probably looks like heaps to you guys, but this is very much the tip of the iceberg of what I have done. So I will be done pretty soon. So another couple of hours and this will be sorted, which is super good. It's just taken so long to get around to doing this, and it's obviously very boring to film, but it's super satisfying when you can just grab a drawer and all your washers are ready to go. Alright, so this is what we got left. Not much. To say I'm excited to have this much left is probably kind of funny, but this is such a small amount compared to what I've actually already done. So super keen, let's get into this tomorrow. Alright, so tonight's quick job is to add a small spacer onto here. So this currently is the lowest part and it's made of plastic, and I am a bit of a goose and sat on it and cracked it, as you can see just there. It will still work, but it is now flimsy and broken. So what I want to do is make a small spacer so I can actually sit on this thing on the floor and not break this any further. So I'm going to pick up on these dot holes here, 2 on either corner and at the front and back, and then I'm going to build a like 50mm spacer. So what I've got to do that is 4 of these RHS, so I need to clean this one up, but they're all, you know, just scrap. And then I've got 8 of these which I need to drill the 2 holes into. So this will just bolt on something like that, and then just a bar between the front and back, or side to side, sorry. And then do that at the front and the back on both seats, and that'll do for now. So I'm going to drill all those and get started. Alright, so I've drilled out one set of 4 of these, so they're for the back ones, and then luckily I checked and the front bolt holes are a little bit narrower, so I'm just going to drill those 4 out, and then I'm going to make put some RHS across this thing, square it all up, tack it together, take it off, weld it up. So pretty simple little job. Found all the nuts to suit, and then I've just got this ready to drill, so I'll do that shortly, and then I've got the RHS to clean up still, but shouldn't take too long. Alright, I've got all the plates drilled, I've got all the pieces of RHS all cleaned up, so I've got something to weld to. I've clamped this one in place, so it's all nice and square and everything. And I need to turn the lights off to plug the welder in because I don't have power in the shed still. So it's going to have to wait for tomorrow because it's currently dark outside. So let's come back to this tomorrow. He's back. Second load coming in. Second and final load for now anyway. Alright, it's a new day, so I'm just going to set the welder up, weld this guy together, and then I'll just try and get the other ones welded together as well, and then let them all cool down and stuff, and then tomorrow I'll bolt them all together and put them out of the way. Or later today if I get enough time. Alright, then we have some seat mounts. So these are just purely to put the thing on the floor and not break that center motor. So don't judge this for actual vehicle use. It's literally just so I can put them on the floor like that and sit in them and not have any issues. So pretty happy with that. On to the next job. Alright, today's the day. Got the gate open. Rob was delivered. Lawn is as mowed as it can be. Jacob will be here in like 15 minutes. Let's get this backyard sorted out. It begins. So he's going to start just ripping out the grass for the back half, and then we'll start getting this rubble down, try and make a good start and get a lot of it out of the way. But Jacob's run a string line for me, so this is going to be garden bed, rubble, and then concrete plinth at the front. That section there is going to be a concrete strip for the fence and like a walkway, and there's another strip over there for the driveway. So this blue line here, this will be the concrete, so then you can drive through there, big gate, get into the shed, fence there, garden bed, actual nice square-ish lawn. So I'll leave Jacob to it and I'll catch you up in like an hour. the rubble has started. So we're doing a bit of a triangle here for a little driveway. And Jacob's just getting the rubble started. And all the back half's all ripped up. Got a big pile of veg there. And then we're going to do this later. Alright, so it's been probably 3.5 hours. Jacob's done a pretty good job of just trying to level it all out. He's got a bunch of the green stuff off of here. And we've got these bits just roughly laid out with the rubble and compacted. So we're going to tidy that up again in a minute. Then there'll be concrete there, and then we can just lay this back half, which is going to be a reasonably quick process compared to this. And he's just currently digging out the little garden bed around the corner. So I'll update you in another couple of hours. Alright, so we got the earthworks going on. And Dad's just rocked up with my cousin's buggy and a car that I need to store for a little while. So that's going to be interesting. Buggy and a Land Rover. I don't know what he's doing, but he's made himself a little hill. This poor dude has been busting his ass for like 11 hours or something. Got this little pile to move, and then I'm going to move that myself tomorrow, probably. But everything else is pretty tidied up. We don't have time to smooth the lawn out like we were hoping to, but we've got absolutely heaps done. So I'm super stoked, and I will show you probably in the next episode, maybe tomorrow morning. So there we go. It's currently Saturday night, and I need to upload a video tomorrow morning. Alright, it's first thing Sunday morning, so you guys will be seeing this video in a couple of hours. So we got this corner all smoothed off, rubble down and compacted. So I need to put the sleepers in and make a bit of a edge. Then we can put the garden beds in there. And this thing is all pretty much done as well. Super solid, which is excellent. So this is super cool. We didn't quite get around the back finished, and it's not exactly like perfectly level or anything, but it's pretty bloody close. But we didn't get enough time to fix that. So I'm super happy with this. I've borrowed this for another day, so I'm going to compact this again, and I can compact the bit where the concrete's going to go, and then I'll clean up the backyard a bit today. And then we have a huge pile of dirt which I have to get rid of, which is going to suck. But that's not their problem. So we'll have that concrete come through here, about 1 metre wide. It'll come to here somewhere, go that way, and then you'll just be able to drive on the concrete straight out the back. Harley's investigating because he didn't get to have a look yesterday. Hopefully he doesn't decide that this is great to poo on. We'll see. So then the buggy, just quickly. So SR swapped buggy. So my cousin did this years ago, and unfortunately he has passed away, so now I need to fix this and I think sell it. So it does run, but it has a bit of a misfire, so I think I need to fix it. I'm not sure what the plan is just yet. They just needed to move it. And then this was his tow car for his boat. So super cool. Don't know what I'm going to do with it, but except for store it at the moment. And then that's the rest of the pile of dirt and the little diggy. So I'm going to need to clean the tracks and stuff this afternoon, or this morning I mean, before the guy picks it up in like 2 hours. But I need to edit this video first, so I need to hustle. But it really needs a bit of a squirt. So thank you very much for watching this week. I'm sorry it was a bit unorganised, but we got a fair bit done this week. It's been pretty busy, and probably the same thing next week because I've got a lot on. So see how we go. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.